In late 2025, a quiet but historic shift occurred in global finance. The BRICS Bridge payment system went live. For the first time, major trades, Brazilian iron ore, Russian oil, Indian goods, were settled directly between central banks, bypassing the US-led financial system. No dollars, no American banks, no SWIFT. The old gatekeepers were left out. This wasn't just a technical upgrade, it was a bold political move by the world's largest emerging economies. BRICS Bridge signals a collective ambition to create an alternative, sovereign pathway for international trade, insulated from US policy and pressure. Early transactions like Brazil-China soybean shipments used digital currencies and blockchain for instant, transparent settlement. This was a real-world debut, not a test, and it worked. The implications are vast, a genuine challenge to dollar dominance and a new era of financial sovereignty. The dollar's reign isn't over, but the rules of the game have changed. The quiet launch of BRICS Bridge may be remembered as the moment the post-war financial order began to give way to something new. The world's financial architecture is no longer unipolar, and the shift has only just begun. To grasp BRICS Bridge's significance, consider the system it disrupts. Since Bretton Woods in 1944, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency, creating constant demand and giving Washington immense leverage. SWIFT, the backbone of this system, is a messaging network that routes global payments, almost always through US banks. This gave the US Treasury a powerful choke point, the ability to monitor, delay, or block transactions worldwide. Over time, the US used this power as a tool of foreign policy, wielding sanctions and threatening exclusion from SWIFT. For countries like Russia, Iran, and China, this was a real vulnerability. The system also imposed economic costs, fees, exchange risks, and inefficiencies for businesses everywhere. As the world digitized, the dollar-centric model began to look outdated and expensive. The desire for a faster, cheaper, and more neutral payment system grew. The old order, built for a different era, was ripe for disruption. BRICS Bridge is the most serious attempt yet to break free from the dollar's grip. The global financial landscape is shifting, driven by both politics and technology. The age of unquestioned dollar dominance is ending. BRICS Bridge is a radical departure from the old correspondent banking model. It uses two core technologies: central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and blockchain. Central banks interact directly, issuing tokenized versions of their currencies on a shared platform. When Brazil exports to India, digital rupees are swapped for digital reals instantly. No intermediaries, no delays. Every transaction is recorded on an immutable blockchain, eliminating reconciliation headaches and boosting transparency. Settlement is nearly instant, costs are slashed, and transactions are shielded from outside regulatory interference. The system's roots trace back to years of research and pilot projects, now adapted for BRICS's political and economic goals. The result: a practical tool for commerce and a powerful symbol of shifting global power. BRICS Bridge isn't just a payment system, it's a statement of independence. The world's financial plumbing is being rewired, one transaction at a time. The rise of BRICS Bridge echoes the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference, which put the dollar at the center of global finance. Today, BRICS nations see themselves as rising powers in a system that no longer reflects their economic weight. BRICS Bridge is their answer, a digital platform designed to serve their interests and reduce dependence on the US dollar. It's not a single new currency, but a multi-currency system, less disruptive, but more complex. The goal is de-dollarization trading in local currencies free from US monetary policy. Unlike Bretton Woods' top-down design, BRICS Bridge is voluntary and focused on payments, not fixed exchange rates. The result is a parallel system, not a replacement, fragmenting the global financial landscape. The world is moving from one dominant order to a patchwork of competing standards. BRICS Bridge brings both technical leaps and profound political consequences. Real-time, low-cost cross-border payments mean better cash flow and lower risks for businesses. Blockchain ensures security and transparency among participants, but not outsiders. Politically, the system is opaque to US regulators, curtailing Washington's ability to enforce sanctions or monitor flows. Every transaction in local currencies chips away at dollar demand, signaling a structural shift. The US can no longer assume its currency's dominance is unconditional. BRICS Bridge gives member states new leverage in negotiations with Western institutions. Countries in crisis may now seek help from BRICS-led banks, not just the IMF or World Bank. This competition could rebalance global financial power, reducing Washington's influence. The world's financial governance is no longer a monopoly. The emergence of alternatives like BRICS Bridge is changing the rules. Financial independence is now a real option for many nations. The global balance of power is being rewritten, one payment at a time. The value of BRICS Bridge grows with every new member, a classic network effect. Its design makes it easy for other central banks to join, and the incentives are strong, especially for countries seeking to reduce dollar dependency. Early interest is coming from Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Latin America, and Africa. For many, joining means cheaper, faster trade, and a political statement of independence from the US-led order. But it's not just technical, it's a geopolitical choice, weighed carefully against potential Western backlash. As more countries join, the system's appeal and liquidity grow, creating a virtuous cycle. If enough nations sign on, BRICS Bridge could become a mainstream pillar of global finance. The race is on. Can BRICS build momentum faster than the US can slow it down? The next few years will determine whether this alternative becomes truly global. The world is watching and choosing sides. Washington's response to BRICS Bridge is a mix of public dismissal and private concern. Officials tout the dollar's strengths, but behind the scenes, they're pressuring allies to stay away from the new system. The US warns that BRICS Bridge lacks transparency and could expose users to sanctions or political risk. Some advocate for direct countermeasures, but sanctioning major central banks would be economic warfare. Instead, the US is promoting its own digital payment innovations and strengthening alliances. The dilemma: act too aggressively and you drive more countries to BRICS, do nothing, and risk losing ground. The likely strategy is a mix of technological upgrades and targeted diplomatic pressure. The contest is not just about money, it's about the future of global power. The US is defending its system, but the world is no longer standing still. The financial chessboard is being reset. The new payment system is reshaping alliances and strategies worldwide. In the global south, BRICS Bridge is seen as a path to greater autonomy and less exposure to dollar volatility. For many, it's about options, not taking sides. Europe remains tied to the dollar, but memories of US sanctions fuel a desire for more financial independence. Some may push to strengthen the euro's global role. US allies in Asia face a balancing act: security from Washington, economic ties to China. They'll likely stick with the dollar system but quietly explore alternatives. For sanctioned states like Iran, BRICS Bridge is a potential lifeline, worrying Western policymakers. The platform could weaken the impact of sanctions, changing the calculus of economic pressure. The world's financial map is becoming a complex web of interests and shifting loyalties. BRICS Bridge is both a symptom and a catalyst of a new, multipolar world. The era of US financial dominance is giving way to a landscape with multiple centers of power. The dollar remains crucial, but it's now one anchor among several. We're moving toward economic blocks: dollar, BRICS, euro, each with its own payment systems. Trade within blocks will be seamless, between them, more complex. This transition brings risks, fragmentation, volatility, but also new opportunities for growth and autonomy. The financial war isn't over, it's evolving. The future won't be defined by one system's victory, but by coexistence and competition. Policymakers must manage this shift peacefully, building a more inclusive and resilient global architecture. The hum of BRICS Bridge transactions marks the start of this new era, quiet, steady, and unstoppable.